The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
Good morning. Welcome to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, Monday, December 15th. I'm Nick Eatman. You guys are frustrated. Cowboys lose 34-26 at home to the Vikings. It's one of the worst ones of the season. Once again, Cowboys find a way to make a below-average quarterback look really good, and an offense that, you know, in a team that was struggling, and they come into AT&T Stadium with an aggressive defense and outplay the Cowboys, outcoach the Cowboys, and, you know, out-desire the Cowboys, if that's even a thing. But, I mean, it was a game of two teams at the very bottom of the NFC playoff picture, and, you know, had to have it. It just absolutely had to win the game, and it looked like Minnesota, you know, was better prepared and went out and outplayed them, out-executed, and obviously won the game. Didn't beat themselves with missed field goals and you know, bad plays on special teams and defense and all that. So, you know, as I wrote in my article, it was the worst kind of complimentary football because they all complimented each other, but it was all below average. You know, the offense didn't play like we've expected them to play. The defense does what it does, which isn't good enough. I'm not giving them a pass. It's just who's shocked by it at this point. And then special teams. I mean, you're asking Brandon Aubrey to make 59-yard field goals, 51. That's because he does, because he makes them until he doesn't, you know. And so you're asking Kevontae Turpin to catch the ball. You know, the ball's at the 25, 27-yard line, catch it. You know, so it doesn't roll down to the 2 and you waste the possession and give them the ball at the 50 so they can go and drive and tie the game. So there's just a lot of things that happened, but it was, and you know, coaching wasn't good enough. I mean, Schottenheimer said it. I mean, he got out-coached by Brian Flores on the other side, and it was evident to the 2 of 12 on third downs. So Cowboys lose 34-26. They're 6-7-1. That might be cool to the elementary kids and teenagers, but it's not cool for our Cowboys, you know, fandom here that is, you know, hoping that maybe they could find a way to get in here and sneak into the playoffs. It does not look like that's going to happen, but we'll see. Sergeant Sue in Fort Worth is first. What's up?
At ease, everybody. How you doing, Nick?
Good. How are you, man?
Hey, man, you know, no matter how bad things get, I always try to put a little positive spin on it. I feel like I've kind of created a little character of myself. Everybody knows that. But I don't know if I could do that today, Nick, if I'm honest, man. I don't know if I could do that.
I was wondering where we were going with this. Okay.
Yeah, no, you know, I try, man. I try to be the voice of positivity. I'm in all these group chats, and I remember at the beginning of the season, I was saying, you know what, you know, I even talked to freaking Darren Woodson, man, and I was like, hey, there's a transition when you go from eye discipline from a man, you know, to a zone defense, and don't worry about it, things will start clicking, yada, yada. I can't do it anymore, brother. I just can't, and you know, personnel's not matched out there on defense. You got, you know, Malik Hooker trying to cover, you know, Justin Jefferson in the slot. You have Donovan Wilson, getting routed up, you know what I mean, man-to-man coverage down there. It's just tough, man. And it's just really tough. You know, you have a you know, great first possession, you know what I mean, where you go in there, you pressure the quarterback, you get an interception, you know. And I told the guys, I was like, it's like Matt Eberflus is on an episode of like Impractical Jokers or something, and they're telling him like, okay, now stop blitzing, you know, just to you know, mess with all of us, you know. And I don't know, man. It's just been really tough. Obviously, you mentioned some other things offensively. You know, I don't know how Dak can get the ball to Pickens. A lot of people are blaming Pickens for disappearing. I don't know how Dak can get the ball to him or anybody. You know, he didn't have a lot of time. You know, so I don't think I've ever done this genuinely. I'm not the type to like to do this, but I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna say, man, it might be time for me to finally give in and say it's time to cut Flus loose, man. So appreciate you so much for taking my call. And, you know, regardless, Nick, I will say this before I go. I'm not going anywhere, though, brother. I'm not. And I know that you know that. I hope that you know that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going anywhere. So I'm going to be calling in. I'm going to be giving my thing because I ride till the wheels fall off, brother.
I
you have a good
appreciate
day.
it. All right. Thanks for the call. For a half second, I wasn't sure where you were going with that. When you're like, it might be time. I was like, to what? Like what? And then you're okay. Change coordinators. All right. Now that's understandable. That's fair. I don't know what you were about to say, but no. Hey, we're not going anywhere either. We're gonna be here every day, 10 o'clock Central to 10:50, Monday through Friday, except for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and maybe the day after, but we'll be here. So we're going to need these callers, 188-855-2297. That's right, not tomorrow. No show tomorrow, but we'll be back the rest of the week. All right, Dylan in Northport, Florida.
Hey, it may be time to cut Flus loose, but we're not going to be cutting Nick Eatman and Chris loose.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got you guys.
We're hanging on. We're hanging on to the end. So.
Yes, sir. We'll go down with y'all. This game was a tale of two defensive coordinators, and we talked all week about how the Cowboys' offense might have some problems. This is one of the best defenses, one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. Their problem was always on offense, and so you saw a defensive coordinator who did a bunch of disguising, and he wasn't afraid to send the house after Dak, just down after down after down, and that's against the best quarterback in the league against the blitz. So that's a guy who's coaching to. I hate to say it, but to win the game, right? He's not playing scared. I almost feel like when Flus calls plays, he's scared because the game starts out we get the deflected pass off of a safety blitz, and then he called 6 more blitzes the rest of the game.
Oh my God!
And it's like you've got a young, inexperienced quarterback who is mistake prone, has horrible mechanics, and you're just going to let him sit there all game, not make him uncomfortable. It was just like the Bryce Young thing. I know you said that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's and I'm not. I hate the people. I don't hate anybody, but I hate when people say it's all Jerry's fault. It's all Schottenheimer's fault. It's all whoever's fault. Like you just point out one single source of all the issues, and Flus isn't the source of every single issue defensively, but he hasn't elevated a single player to be better than what he is. And in fact, I think he's made players worse. You're seeing players have the worst year of their career with Bland and some of these safeties and some of these other guys. You're seeing, I don't know what's up with Logan Wilson and Murray, but Murray once again is running out of the lanes to go play, by himself out on the edge. I mean, he's just standing in space doing nothing on the goal line instead of going and filling the hole with the running back. So it's just frustrating to watch the kind of same thing all season. And I know Flus is a base kind of guy, go play cover 2, 3, 4, don't blitz. But at a certain point, you got to recognize something's not working, dog, and you got to make a change. Yeah. And I think it's going to be time for the Cowboys to make a change after the season, unfortunately.
Yeah, and all right, thanks for the call. Jerry Jones talks after the game, and he talks, to the media, and then he does a walk-off, and he keeps talking, and then more people ask questions. And so if you sat there the whole time and listened to it all, you'd miss the entire locker room, so you kind of have to pick your spots. But there were some interesting answers when asked about Eberflus and and the, just how long he's going to be here, and what his future holds, and other coaches, and he didn't give a, solid answer of, oh yeah, these guys will be back. Nor should he, but he was just like, yeah, those are good questions, or something to that effect of, okay, well, everything's on the table, and it should be. Dylan, I think you make really good points as always. That who has really elevated this year, with who's played better on defense than you thought. Oh, this guy's better than I thought. I mean, seriously, if you really, really think about it, you can't really say that about rookies, even though Ezeraku, I think people thought he would be a little better than this. Revel, it's still early. But who? I mean, is Quinnen Williams playing? I mean, this is kind of how he plays, right? Osa's playing like he plays, maybe a little bit better, maybe. But, Kenny Clark's probably played better than this. Dante Fowler certainly has. Clowney, Clowney's kind of clowny. He's played. This is kind of what he's done, but not to the point where anyone's playing better than they've played, and certainly not in the secondary. I know this isn't happening, but it does feel like that the three positions, linebackers, defensive line, and then secondary all kind of do their own thing, like in meetings, and then when they get to the game, let's kind of see how it happens. It just doesn't seem like those three parts are ever on the same page. And, and Eberflus was supposed to be the linebacker whisperer, and the linebackers have been as bad as we've seen around here in a long time. Sam in Philly, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how you doing, man?
Good. Oh, you all right, man?
Nah, I told you I work night shift, man. I'm staying up here trying to get a hold of you here.
I appreciate it.
But can I give you my hypothesis on the Trayvon Diggs thing? Because it seems like everybody I listen to over there, or down there, I should say, I don't know if you're not allowed to talk about it, or you're not reporting the right thing, or you just don't know. Can I just give you what I think is going on?
Sure, I would love to hear it.
You can't ever, they always say you can never predict a back injury or head injury. So I think now, since they cut his buddy Micah, so they weren't, he's already kind of disgruntled, if that's what you want to call it. I think he faked the concussion because he knows that this is his last year on the team. Everybody knows that. So he doesn't want to put bad tape out on himself and cost himself money because he wasn't agreeing with the defensive philosophy. He was getting burnt, game after game, and he just decided I'm going to sit it out because I don't like the coordinator, I don't like the defense, I don't agree with it, I'm a man corner, and I don't want to cost myself money. Now they made the trades, and, this really doesn't make sense because the defense doesn't look that great, but it was rejuvenated for a few games there. Now he wants back in, and we all know that once you cross Jerry, you can't undo that. You know what I mean? So I think he's sitting him out on purpose. Now you're not going to be able to get back on the field and prove yourself for your next contract.
Hey, there sounds like worse philosophies than that. I'm not opposed to anything at this point.
Like it makes sense. But
no, it's not. It's at this point, and that's
with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
They're not giving you any answers. You know what I mean? I think that's what's going on. I think they're saying, all right, you want to do that? You want to quit on us? Then we're going to quit on you.
Hey, Sam, I'm not going to argue with you because I you know what? Why not? They haven't told us why. So that's what happens when you don't give the reason to that. And I'm not saying that we deserve that. Thanks for the call, and thanks for the really, that's well thought out, and could be. It could, you hate for that to be, the case. And there could be elements of that is true. Maybe not fully 100%, but there could be parts of that. But without a doubt, there's more going on here than we know. And I say it all the time. I'm like, I'm done talking about it. I'm not going to talk about it. Well, and I'd rather not because we don't have the answers. But there are some things happening that normally don't, and that's what's weird. Even more strange about this thing is, well, why is he practicing so much then? Why did he practice all week? Because if he's practicing, then someone else isn't. And the guy that did play in the game did not get as many reps. And guess what? It showed. So what are we doing here? If you're going to play, then play. You should practice the guys that are going to play in the game. So was there a setback? Then just say there was a setback. He was supposed to play. He practiced. Then there was a setback. Or what? And why is he talking to the media so much? Like, why are they making him available? Like, it's funny is that at times when guys are on injured reserve and you try to talk to them and they're like, nope, wait till they come back. And then now with Diggs, I mean, he's always talking in front of his locker for 7 minutes. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. All I know is that there's something else here, something much deeper, and they're not saying what it is. So it's leaving Sam and Philly and everyone else open to speculate what it is, and maybe that is the case. Because at this point, it's all on the table. But I don't know. I know this, though. You know what? I'm not going to say that. Josh in Chicago. Josh is next.
Hey, man.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm bummed, It's
Yeah.
a rough one. I not to pile onto the Trayvon Diggs thing, but just kind of what Dylan and Sue were saying, I just don't get how Murray's out there in the wrong gaps, and we're being told Trayvon Diggs doesn't practice well. It's like, is Murray practicing well? I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, I agree with you. I really do, for the most part. Trust the coaches, trust their judgment, but it's like, I watched the Detroit game over, and Gibbs' biggest plays are because he's one-on-one matched up against Murray, and Murray's going the wrong way. And then he's getting blocked out of stuff. And it's like, I just don't understand how Trayvon Diggs can't be on the field, an all-pro, and then you have a linebacker who is constantly, game after game, in the wrong spot. And your defensive coordinator's specialty is linebackers.
Yeah.
I mean, I called him the offseason. I said, I'm excited about Eberflus because maybe he'll get better play out of our linebackers. And I was wrong.
Oh, we all were.
That.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, he wanted Murray and Sanborn. He wanted these veteran linebackers in here, and then Overshown will be back at some point, and we'll see. We'll see what happens if he can, take Leofau to the next level. I mean, Leofau, second-year guy, he was supposed to take that leap this year, and so I mean, everybody is in the same boat there. But you just can't defend what's going on with Murray. I mean, it's just
the
ball's here and you're going there. I mean,
I'd rather see Leofau get the reps doing the wrong thing, but getting the game experience and starting to
Shamar,
Shamar James, somebody. I mean, even Clark before he was gone. But to see a veteran who's had the chances and the opportunities continue to make the mistakes, it just questions my whole thing. And I don't like calling for somebody's job. It's the GM's choice on that. But what I will say is, that 4th and 3. You've been blitzing the blitzes have been working
all game.
And then it's 4th and 3, and you send a 3-man rush, and they get a 20-yard pass. Like, that was the game to me.
Yeah.
That moment in the third quarter, that was the game. That was, hey, we're not going to be able to do anything here.
Yeah, that was one of the 5 plays that I did pick out because, it's 4th down, and I think you're up 6 at that point. And, if you can get the ball, you get a stop there, get the ball, and then, if anything, get another field goal, But yeah, that was huge, and you're right. He just felt so comfortable, and it's like, there's times where he wasn't comfortable, and it showed, and then times when he was standing back there. I mean, it's just, I know you can't blitz every play, but you could blitz more than 6 times, 7 times. Yep. Especially when you saw some really good plays out of it when it was happening early on,
I got just 2 more things for you real quick. Okay. One, CD's our number 1, man. He wears 88 for a reason, man. The legacy, he's the guy. That's how I feel about him. I hope we re-sign Pickens, but I don't want to break the bank on him. That's just how I feel about him. And then the other thing is, man, we haven't heard from our guy Jeremy in DC for a while. So, are you staying out of trouble? You hurting anybody lately?
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well, man. Keep your head up.
Appreciate it. Yeah. I think he called not too long ago. So, yeah, I'm staying out of trouble. I think so. Just don't ask me about Trayvon Diggs anymore because that's probably going to get me in trouble. Because, maybe not because I don't know. I mean, we really don't. We don't know anything. It's just weird. All right. Let's take our first break here on Cowboys Storyline. We'll be right back after this.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Alltech Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alltechlansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's ALTECLANSING.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Alltech Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline. This segment is presented by Yeti, officially licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is available at Stadium Pro Shops, concession, and on Yeti.com. Yeti here. All right, talking Cowboys and Vikings, 34-26 loss. Cowboys dropped 6-7-1. 3 games to go. They're not officially out of anything, but certainly doesn't look good. Going to take a Christmas miracle here, especially with the Eagles. To win the division, they're going to have to lose all 3, and the Cowboys have to win all 3. So don't see any of those scenarios happening based off the schedule and how things are playing and the level of consistency that it takes for the Cowboys for them to win 3 straight games. Don't see that happening. Definitely don't see the Eagles losing 3, especially after what they did against the Raiders. Yeah, it was the Raiders, but they've got Washington twice and the Bills. So we'll see. Can't worry about all that. Just gotta go play it out. All right, next is Rob in Vegas.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Rob.
You know, we could jump on Flus all we want, but I can't put all the blame on him or the defense for this game. They did what they do. They gave up. You know, you got kids. When my kids were in school, my daughter was great in school. She loved it. My son was like, I'm just going because I have to. So when the report card came and he did what he normally does and gets C's, I'm like, all right. Well, my daughter usually would get straight A's. So if she came home with something other than that, I'd be like, what the hell happened?
Right. I know.
And that's how I look.
Yeah.
That's how I look at Dallas. The offense, you knew going in your defense is bad. And you know what? They did exactly what they did. They held them they gave up about 30, and late in the fourth quarter, that's where they were. The offense is the one that struggled. Third down was horrendous. Red zone was bad.
That's a great analogy, by the way. It really is because, and I've kind of used one similar to that. It's very good because it's like, are you blaming your daughter? You're not. I mean, because you're just holding her to a higher standard.
Yeah, you're
like,
disappointed.
Yeah, you're like Aubrey's missing field goals. I mean, like I remember Billy Cundiff setting the Cowboys record for a 56-yard field goal. Like I remember when he did it, and it was the Cowboys record. And now, when Aubrey misses a 59, you're like, what's wrong? You okay?
Yeah, totally. And I mean, and Chris Collinsworth said something good last night, and I agree with him. He goes, Shoddy plays for these long field goals sometimes too much, and he does.
Yeah.
I mean, we're spoiled. When he missed the 59-yarder, we're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know? But that's how I looked at it. Now, I looked at Flus, and I say, well, I can't let him. Where's Shoddy? Shoddy's his boss.
Yeah.
But is he his boss because he didn't make the hire? So that's the problem I have with when you have Jerry involved. And I know we go back and forth, but we want to maximize Dak. Everybody's talking about doing that because, let's say, you got 2 more years or whatever. Well, you brought in an apprentice as a head coach, which probably wasn't the best move when you could have got proven guys like a Vrabel, or look at what Sean Payton is doing in Denver. You had opportunities to get guys like that. With the Pickens thing, I'm sorry, I can't. Pickens is a luxury this team can't afford. He's like, you just want to buy a sports car because you want to have some fun. You can't do it. You have to take the money you're going to allocate to him, which is, let's just say $30 million. You need to put that into the defense and get a tackle. I don't care which one you want to get. You want to move Guyton to right tackle or keep him at left tackle. You got to get a tackle, but you got to get playmakers on defense, especially that could rush the quarterback. As much as I like Pickens,
yeah,
Yeah, I just can't afford him. It doesn't move the needle. And the perfect example is this year. You have 2 wide receivers that are top of the league. You finally got a running back, and you got 6 wins. And you got a quarterback playing top 5. And what does it give you? 6 wins. And how many wins did they have last year without Dak? 7.
Yeah.
So the way the team is constructed is bad. And I don't know if Jerry wants to fix it because he does like the flash. And unfortunately, you're going to have to get rid of some of the flash and go, build the trenches, do the ugly stuff. But until they do that, they're not winning.
All right, Rob. Good call. The Pickens situation is up. It's up for grabs at this point. I mean, it really is. I mean, because I think 2 or 3 weeks ago it was no brainer, but now, yeah. I mean, there's definitely some questions there on to allocate those funds and can you afford to do that and bringing them back. What does it bring you? What does it get you? So. Yeah, I mean, I think if your offensive line is patched up, I mean, I'd rather have a left tackle that I can count on, or young offensive line. And the offensive line is going to continue to get better, and I think the interior of it is good. I think Booker and BB and those guys are going to be good. I mean, with Tyler Smith too. I mean, I think the 3 of them there, but still got to figure out the tackle situation. I like that what you said about it's just a luxury that they probably can't afford, but he's got to do his part too. I mean, it's not just it's not. I mean, I know you can't just run down the field and at times you've got to come back to the ball and I still think the Cowboys should have tried more to get him the ball like deep. And if it's covered or it looks like it's covered, take a shot to go up there and make a play because what's going to happen? He's probably going to catch it 30-40% of the time. The other 30% of the time is going to be a pass interference. So I think it's better than 50-50. I think getting the ball to where you throw it is probably a 70-30. And for me, and it's a big chunk play, I'd like to see that happen a little bit more. All right, Albert in Tucson, Arizona is next. Albert.
Nick, my man.
How you doing?
The real answer?
Yeah, really. Really, how you doing?
Man, I got my Cowboys blues on. No logos, but I got them, and I'm feeling exactly that way. But I don't know if I'm so much P.O. I don't know if I can say it on air, but
sure.
Pissed off at our defense when we went out, say the football gods give us the opportunity. The Eagles lose 2 games, we win the division, but now it's like what to play for? Should Milton be the starting QB the next 3 games? Should we just tank it and see what we get with our 2 picks? It's just right now it hurts really the most. I think out of all the losses that we have, because there was so much riding on this game, and you lose to a less than mediocre team.
Yeah,
and it's. I think it's time that we really, really show you guys how pissed off we are. But anyway, it was a good season. Thank you for everything, and thank the producer extraordinaire in the back. And ride or die, go Cowboys!
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I get it. I'm not gonna, like we say it all the time, I'm not gonna tell anybody how to fan and what to do if this is it for y'all. As far as investing the time and all that. I get it. I mean, I don't agree necessarily. That's just kind of what I am. I like football. I like watching games, and whether you're in it or out, I'm gonna watch the team. But this is our job too, so this is what we do. But I mean, as far as, Monday goes and Monday after a loss like that, sure. I mean, there's a lot of people saying that. There's a lot of people that are like, all right, well, then so much for this season. We'll see what happens next year, and that's probably the case until about Thursday or Friday, and then let's see what happens. I'm gonna watch and just see, and that's what this team does. That's what the sports does, really. So I get it. I'm not gonna hold anybody accountable for what they say today. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with what Albert said. I mean, it's like, hey, ride or die. But he's pissed off. He's frustrated. He should be. It's, but saying that, like, you lost to a mediocre team, well, the Cowboys, that's what the Cowboys are. At halftime, I knew this game was going to be really close. This is going to come down to it. I don't really know who's better. It's even. And we'll see what happens and who makes plays in the second half. And the Cowboys didn't make enough of them, or really any at all. All right, let's go to Josh in Princeton, Texas.
Hey, Nick.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. So yesterday I was pretty upset. It was my birthday, and I was just upstairs soaking. But then something dawned on me, and I just thought about it, and I was just like, this is who the Cowboys have been all season. And if you think about it, like, if they just so happen to make it to the playoffs, do we actually expect them to make noise or do anything? So, the record, I feel like they're right where they belong as far as the record and how everything is played out. You lost every phase of the game. You got outcoached by Flores and Kevin O'Connell. And then special teams, I'm not going to harp on Brandon Aubrey. He was due to miss some.
Yeah.
But then the one return you got from Turpin got negated by a penalty. So you really didn't win any phase of the game. So I'm not upset. I got over it, and I'm just going to be here for the ride and see if we can build momentum for next season.
Yeah, and that's what I agree with that. I think this team does need to continue to try to get better and grow and all those things. And I'm not playing the backup quarterback. Unless you have to or need to. But I'm playing Dak all the way through, and that's what he said. That's what he said last night. Let's see if the Cowboys think the same way. But they'll. All right, Josh, you got anything else? Or we'll keep it moving. You good?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
All right, good to hear from you, and thanks for calling. They're not. The best way for them to win the division, to get in the playoffs is to win the division. They got to win the last three games, and then Philly has to lose them all. So, and the Cowboys play Sunday at noon, and Philly plays Saturday against Washington. So, the division could be out of your hands before you even play again. I don't think technically they will be eliminated from the playoffs, but it's probably a miracle at this point. So, and like I said, winning the division is the best way. So that actually could be off the table. And then after that, it would just be all these crazy wild card scenarios that, probably could also be eliminated by the time, that game is over Sunday. So, the playoffs, not to cue the Jim Mora, press conference, but that's kind of what it looks like and feels like at this point. Because, you're not beating the average teams. You beat the Eagles, you're down 21-0, came back and won that game. Kansas City's not good. They're not a good team. And so you beat them, but they're showing what they are. They're not good this year. And so that's kind of, it's all these teams, Cowboys, Vikings, close games, and they could maybe win if they lined up and did it again, but I think you're seeing, right now this is the time of the year the cream rises to the top, and the Cowboys wouldn't go beat Seattle or the Rams, or we saw what they did to Detroit and all that. Those teams are better, and so they face the Bears, and early in week 3 the Bears are probably way better than they are now, and that wasn't close then. So I just think getting to the playoffs would probably just, wouldn't be great. But you want to, that's the goal. That's the goal to see. But I think we all know, what I'm trying to say is I think we all know that, the Cowboys just aren't good enough. They're just not good enough this year. So you you can try to get on the run and get there, but I don't think they're good enough. Let's go to Brian in Kansas City. Brian, what's up, man?
Good morning, sir.
How are you, man? It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's been I got some life challenges, and this hasn't been in the cards for me to be able to work this in. But I just got off the treadmill, looked and saw what time it was, flipped the TV on, and said, "Hey, got a chance." Got a chance. So
good to hear from you, man. I mean, you're one of the staples of this show, and obviously got to take care of what's going on there. But anytime you can get in, man, we'd love to hear from you. Glad that you've called.
Thanks, Nick. I really appreciate that, and appreciate Chris. So
sure.
In watching this game last night, and I was thinking of unit cohesion and esprit de corps are really hard things. They're kind of intangibles, right? It's difficult to figure out what makes that happen. What made the Cowboys gel in the 70s and in the 90s, and what was the magic sauce, right? Yeah. And at this point, I think we're in that stage of the game of the season where we've got to figure out what we have as we're moving forward. So I agree with not tanking. I don't want to go out there and just put all the backups in and just say, hey, we don't want Dak to get hurt, so we're not going to play him.
Right.
But what I do want to see is what do we have? There's a few key positions, and everybody's talked about them all morning.
Yeah.
Linebacker, defensive back, offensive tackle. We need to know what we have, right? We got to figure it out for going forward. So I'd like to see one or two key changes and just pick them, whatever it is. Hey, you know what? We don't know if Logan Wilson is better than Murray. Just put him out there and let's find out in the next 3 games.
Yeah.
We don't know if Nate Thomas or Adeniji or whomever might be better than what we have now, but pick one of them and just put them out there and let's see what we have, not guess going into the draft and into the off season. That's just my thought. And
nothing wrong with that.
Of course it's possible, but I think we all look at it. I didn't look to see what the odds dipped to after the game, but I'm sure that it's a very slight possibility now.
Yeah.
Let's figure out what we have and let's build the team and see what we have going forward, man. Wow. Hey, it's really good to talk to you today, Nick.
You too.
All right.
That's
Take
good
care,
stuff,
buddy.
Thank you, Brian. And call back when you can. That's the case for everybody, and we totally understand that it's not easy. It's not easy doing the show, being a part of the show, because it's not like you just pick up the phone, call, and get in. It's you got to call back, and if you really want, and then it's hard to listen while you're doing that. And I get it, and this show is made up of you guys, and Brian is one of them. And so it takes people that are committed to it. I'm totally appreciative of that. And we don't have to share the same thoughts and opinions all the time, but I think everyone shares the same passion, about this team and the organization and the frustration and when they don't win and the excitement when they do and all that. And that's kind of what bonds everyone together, even though they have different outlooks on it. So anyways, what Brian said is I really agree with. There's an in between here. You don't have to tank the season. You still play the best guys for the most part. But if it is close, and you do have a guy that's younger and hasn't played a lot, I mean, why not? Why not? Get them out there and see. So there's some positions where and they are kind of doing that at defensive back. I mean, Revel's playing, Carson's playing. I don't know if you guys have realized this, but Trayvon Diggs is not playing. I don't know if that's ever come up at all, but he isn't playing. So they're kind of doing that a little bit already. All right, anyways, let's go to break one more time on StoryLine. I'll be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. This is the time where we bring out the Precision Player of the Week, presented by Gillette. Chris, you got anyone there? I mean, I think we talked about Javonte Williams. Hey, showed a lot of heart there.
He did.
I mean, hurt his shoulder. Got a concussion protocol too, so there's a lot going on there.
He double dipped on that.
Yeah,
that call.
Didn't have his helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, like for a while, I was like, all right, and he did not look like he was gonna play. And then Lipke gets hurt on the last play of special teams, right before the half. Well, and Javonte comes back in, and I mean,
almost got 100.
It's like Billingsley from
91.
Friday Night Lights. Just comes in there with no shoulder, just runs over people.
Let's do this.
No, he played well. So he'll be our Gillette Precision Player of the Week. 91 yards rushing, and a touchdown, and did it basically with one arm. So good stuff. All right, let's go to Stan in Pennsylvania. Stan, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You remember me? Last week was I was a first-time caller last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm a second-time caller. It's all because I always read your articles and always on the website and listened to your shows, but I was always on first shift, so I was never able to call in. So that's why all of a sudden I'm calling in all the time. You're like my second best friend now, man.
Okay, all right. Love it.
But anyway, I agree with so much that everybody was saying throughout your show this morning, and I read your article as always, and I was glad that you put in there about the field goals because I hit hard on that last week with the Lions game where we, like I said, I'm old school. I am always for take the points, but my whole point is like we're not converting on third downs.
Right.
It's like once we get past the 50-yard line, all of a sudden we get a little conservative and we're not taking the shots. It's like we had two of the great receivers in the NFL, a great tight end, and it's like, why are we not at least taking shots at times? I mean, we do once in a while, but not enough, in my opinion. But it's like, again, in the Lions game, we attempted 5 field goals. Last night's game, we attempted 6 field goals. That's 11 field goals, and we only had 4 touchdowns. I mean, that just ain't going to cut it, man. We got to score more touchdowns. So I was glad that you pointed that out also in your article today.
Yeah, I'm fine most of the time with kicking field goals if that's the smart play. But I think what they feel like is field goal range is probably not necessarily the right call. You shouldn't be taking sacks at the 40-yard line, and now you've made it a 59-yarder. So little too comfortable there, and as someone pointed out, Aubrey was bound to miss, and he did twice.
Yes, absolutely. And and as far as this coaching stuff goes, I mean, Eberflus was good when he was with the Colts and stuff. I mean, I do know, man, we are a mess on defense, absolutely, and I don't know if he's all to blame. I mean, I haven't heard anybody really say anything about Schottenheimer. He's unknown as well. I mean, he's been in a coaching offensive assistant or offensive coordinator for like 30 years in the NFL, and he was never a head coach before. Is there a reason why? I mean, that's a long time to be in the NFL and never having a whole head coaching job before. I believe he was considered like 2 other times in the past, but didn't get the positions. And that makes me wonder, too. I mean, is there something there that, he didn't have the opportunity before? And, just a thought I was throwing out there. What do you think of that?
Well, talk about Eberflus being like the opportunities that he's gotten.
Yeah, as far as Schottenheimer, more so Schottenheimer. Because I know, like, Eberflus was successful as a defensive coordinator before, but Schottenheimer, like I said, he's been a coach for a long time in the NFL and never got a head coach job and only was considered twice in 30 years. And like I said, so what's your thoughts on that? Do you think maybe he's part of the problem? That
No. Sorry, I understand your point. I'm not agreeing with that part.
Yeah.
But all right. Thanks, Stan. Thanks for the call. I think Schottenheimer is going to be okay. As and I know that's not necessarily the goal. I mean, it'd be better than that. As a first year coach, and again, a wise man told me a long time ago that sometimes things are not. It's not an excuse. It's a reason. Okay, so I'm not trying to make excuses for this team, but when you put your best player and move him over here off the team, and what you've got in return for the most part is not, we haven't even seen yet, then it is hard to evaluate. I mean, it's hard to evaluate what he is, because this team needed Micah Parsons. There's no doubt. They needed Parsons. With the offense the way it is, they needed a guy that could come in there and make plays on defense and get off the field and give some pressure and maybe some turnovers, and they didn't have it. And so so it's really tough to evaluate everything that's happened this year because of that. But I think Schottenheimer, what you also want is as a leader of men, and I think he does that. But they've got to figure out, this coaching staff and the defensive side of the ball. It like you said, Stan, it is a mess, and they're just not on the same page. And the players that are out there, just nobody's had a great year on defense. So I don't know. They got a lot of problems to fix there, and then that goes back to the offense. Can you afford to pay George Pickens the kind of money to be your second receiver, knowing that your defense is needs so much help, and your offensive line still needs some help too? All right, last caller will be Sebastian. We can try to get him in real quick.
Good morning, sir. I have no desire to talk about this game. I want to touch on something else really quickly. I want to thank you and Chris for showing up every single week and putting in the work and delivering a phenomenal show. I want to thank all of the callers who called in. This is the best year for StoryLine so far. We grieved as a community together. I made friends out of this place. I talked to Irene. I talked to Dylan. I talked to Sergeant Sue all the time on Twitter. I am so impressed with the community that came from this show. So no matter what happens with the season, it is whatever. Clearly, I'm not Miss Cleo.
Nice.
But I want to say, listen, man, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. You guys have a great weekend. And we'll talk about this some other time. It's life goes on, You have a great day.
Thanks, Sebastian. Appreciate that. And thanks for kind of being quick. You talked about this family, of StoryLine, and this is community, and that's what it is. And so you guys will have to take a break, though, for tomorrow, because we'll be back on Wednesday. We're not doing a show tomorrow. Our team will be actually in the community as well. We'll be going and doing our annual event at the Salvation Army, which is a lot of fun and puts a lot of things in perspective of what's important and what isn't and all that. Not that football's not important. This is what we do. This is our job. But sometimes there's bigger things going on and get a chance to kind of see that. So, guys, thanks for the great calls today. I know there's frustration. There should be. And we'll see how the Cowboys can keep fighting down the stretch. And you guys as well. Keep fighting down the stretch, and we'll do this thing together. It's been a good show. We'll see you on Wednesday. So for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. See you next time on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?